We don't have an intro to this podcast. Maybe we'll have one later.
And I'm back. Hello, my name is Quan and I'm part of the Movie Guys podcast. Unfortunately, Gaspar couldn't make it to this recording. He has work. But that means I get to do another solo podcast by myself. Again. Which is scary because I was panicking during the first one because I didn't know what I was going to talk about. I still don't know what I'm going to talk about. Let's talk about uh, uh, you know what? Let's talk about love. What is love? Love can be a lot of things. Love is life. Love is good. Love is bad. Who knows? I personally I love onions, okay? Because onions have layers. And do you know what else has layers? Ogres. Ogres have layers. Shrek is an ogre. Therefore, by the transitive property, Shrek is an onion. And also, Shrek is love, and Shrek is life. Oh, so bad. Anyways, based on what I said, you can obviously probably already guessed what I'm going to talk about. I'm talking about Shrek today. Yeah, 21st century icon. Shrek. Shrek the man. Shrek the ogre. If everyone, I feel like everyone knows about Shrek, but I'll give a little background about the movie, the franchise. Shrek is an ogre, and he's mad because a lot of people are in his swamp, and he wants them to get out of his swamp. A bunch of fairy tale creatures. He meets a donkey, a talking donkey named Donkey, and they go off to some castle, some big old castle with a man with that's really short. And this man, Lord Farquaad, tells him that if he goes saves a princess, Fiona, he'll get rid of all the fairy tale creatures. So Shrek does that. And they do, I guess technically save. Well, yeah, I would say they do save her, and then she saves them a couple times, and everyone's happy. They go back to the castle. Lord Farquaad, fairy tale bullshit. But it's not fairy tale bullshit. If I'm not mistaken, it's not a Disney fairy tale bullshit, because what's his name? Jeffrey Katzenberg. I believe he's the main, like the head animation person who used to work for Disney. And from what I heard, this is completely speculation. I think they were saying something about how he went over to DreamWorks because he couldn't get the promotion that he wanted. And he started with Steven Spielberg, I believe. And they had some bad times, but they made Shrek, and it saved DreamWorks. So that's definitely good. I'm not gonna talk too much about Jeffrey Katzenberg because I don't know if it's true or not. If he had a falling out with Disney and he made Shrek out of spite, or even if they had bad blood. I think I remember him talking about it in like an interview, but I'm not really sure. I watched Shrek when I was like 9 years old, so it's been a hot while. But it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that Shrek is kind of like a spoof of the whole like Disney fairy tale like stereotypes, right? Because you know you have the saving the damsel in distress, and the handsome prince with his white steed coming to the rescue, and big old dragon, and all this other nonsense. I'm not, I'm not gonna say I don't want. It's not nonsense. I do like Disney fairy tales, but it's a spoof. Shrek is a spoof of the fairy tale, and I feel like if you can laugh at a parody, that's fine. I think. But yeah, Shrek is a spoof of a Disney fairy tale, which is completely fine. Not saying that Disney fairy tales are bad or anything. It's just I like Shrek. What else is there? What else is there? And then yeah, so it does end with a happily ever after, except it's not a traditional one because Shrek isn't seen as uh I don't want to use this word, but it is the right word to use. A societal like it's not society's version of what is handsome, even though you know Shrek is kind of like in his own way kind of a hottie. Fiona also not she begins as a beautiful fairy tale princess, and she ends up like an ogre in the end. And the dragon and donkey, they have relations of somewhat kind, and but it does end with a happily ever after, and Shrek learns from it in the end that he shouldn't be by himself, and he does have friends that does care about him. Shrek 2, and then it goes off to Shrek 2, which is another great movie. The entire franchise is great, but Shrek 2, it continues. It's like a very big, like, it's a good movie as well. Continues off with the stereotype, except this time it's Fiona's father and mother who kind of wanted her to have the stereotypical Prince Charming, and then there is, you know, a Prince Charming who's a fucking man-child and a douchebag, and his mother's also a douchebag, and it turns out his mother's of the fairy godmother, and even though she's a complete asshole, she's profiting off of being like this sweet person, and that kind of sucks for everyone. Not really, because at the end of the day, people do still like her. And yeah, it continues to follow the spoof of the fairy tale, and it also ends with the people, like everyone who wants the traditional fairy tale ending. Everyone learns that, hey, that's maybe that's not our life. It's a possibility. Sometimes everyone deserves a happily ever after, I think, is the main premise of both the movies. And then what happened next? It was Shrek 3, I think, came out next, or Shrek 4D. I remember Shrek 3 was I think Shrek 4D was chronologically next, I believe. I don't remember too much about it. I watched it once when I went to Universal Studios, and I got fucking sprayed in the face. I'm not saying I had a bad time because I got sprayed in the face. I just got sprayed in the face, and that's all I remember. Anyway, Shrek 3. I don't remember the plot of Shrek 3. It was another spoof, this time following Arthur, because King Arthur was this fucking cool ass dude with Excalibur. Turns out in this movie he's kind of like a nerd, and Sir Lancelot bullies him, and the entire school bullies him, and he ends up also having a happily ever after. And then Shrek 4. I don't fucking know about Shrek 4. I don't remember it. I think it was pretty good. Point is, everyone has a happily ever after, and that is just fine. And I like it because when I was a kid, it was like an animation movie that was kind of like a fairy tale, but not really. Actually, it's the complete opposite of a fairy tale. And then it I like it now because it's kind of like a meme, you know. Smash Mouth is like a meme band, but they're still pretty good. And Shrek's a meme, and even if you like, I feel like adults really love the movie then and now because it does have a lot of adult jokes that kind of went over everyone's head when they were like under the age of 13. And that's there's some funny jokes, so everyone can laugh and enjoy watching Shrek. But yeah, in the end, I give Shrek an onion out of 10. It's a really good franchise. Maybe when I finally get a partner, when my partner comes back, Gaspar, maybe we'll talk about it a little bit more. But I'm trying to keep this short because I am by myself, and I'm getting really sweaty just thinking about talking to a camera and not knowing what to say. So yeah, I'll kind of end it there. Yeah. Make sure to yeah. This is I'm just gonna end it there. It's a nice little short podcast. No real updates for the film Krew until Gaspar comes back. I have links. If you're watching this on YouTube, there's stuff. My channel, Dury Kwan. Gaspar's channel, Gaspar underscore the underscore creature, and he should be back next week, hopefully, because solo podcasting is hard and I never know what to talk about. A lot of Instagram stuff and Twitter. Film Crew 7 and at Crew Film for Twitter. We're on all major podcasting sites. Make sure to like and subscribe if you're on YouTube. If you like our podcast, if you don't like it, also tell us don't like it. Try to criticize us anywhere we can, and anywhere you can to see if so we can improve and hopefully get better as we go. Other than that, I think it's it for me. Yeah. Thank you for listening and supporting us. We'll see you all next time. I'll see you next time for sure. Alright, bye.
We also don't have an outro either. We'll probably have one soon.